Hello, Justice Warriors. It says we're live, but I'm looking at a blank screen, which, is kind of good, actually. It's kind of weird looking at yourself when you're on your own video, but it just makes me wonder if it's actually working. But this is my uh, um, third attempt, and it looked like it did work on the first two. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and try this out, see how it goes. If it's not good, then I'll take it down or make it private. So I've got the live chat on and it's subscribers only. You guys might have seen I just added my membership thing yesterday, and I just added some cash apps. I think the day before yesterday. CB is here. Good morning, CB. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks so much for saying hi. So this is really funny because normally when you're doing a live, you're like looking in the mirror basically, and it's a little annoying. It's kind of makes me self-conscious to be staring at myself. But right now I'm staring at a blank screen, so I can make eye contact with you guys better because I just can't see like what's in the frame and what's not, but that's all right. I don't freaking care. And I can't see if I'm having a bad hair day, which is good. I don't need to focus on those things, do I? Hey, you're back. You were live on the other two. Right, but I have a blank screen, Bex, just so that you guys know. I mean, I kind of like it actually, because like I said, it makes you a little self-conscious when you're looking at yourself in the screen and you're noticing that your hair is all bad or that, somebody's like photo bombing your video. I got all these like random little bunnies and squirrels and mice photo bombing me, but they're invited, so it's cool. Holy smokes, working me for those thumbs up. And what I wanted to say about the memberships and the cash apps is like, I don't want anybody to worry about it. Like, I am just so happy to be here and I'm so happy that you're here. So I'm going to figure out how to do it so that, there's certainly member perks, and yet I don't want anyone to feel like they need to do that, because I know that there's times when I really want to support some channels. And then there's times overall where I feel like I'm better off that just liking it and watching it and commenting is really good support. And that's fine. Like, that is the best, seriously. And, we can't all go throwing money at every content creator that we like. We'd be completely flat broke, right? Michael, Sunset, CB, and Bex, thank you guys so much for being here. So yeah, I'm just really happy my daughter was able to get me a couple of the cash apps going. Like, I think it's Venmo and Cash App, right? And then somehow I was able to do the membership thing all by my big old self. But I don't think it's 100% complete. Anyway, let's get on with it. You guys, I've been going nuts with this freaking Kate Middleton stuff, and I want to handle it delicately because, of course, if this woman has cancer, then screw us all for talking any kind of smack at all. But I'm not talking smack on her. I'm talking smack on the royal family, because there's a lot to be suspicious of. And a lot of these suspicions that I had, like, I seriously had them on my own. And I thought, oh, I'm just, being gaslit. I'm questioning myself and thinking, oh, this is crazy. I'm wondering about domestic violence. I'm wondering about all the other things that you guys mentioned last week. It was only Friday, right, that I had my little half-hour live that I was like, man, like, WTF. And as much as I have been focusing on all the cases that I normally focus on over the weekend, this one has been sucking me in. And I am so freaking concerned for Kate. And I'm so freaking concerned about the propaganda and the double speak and the double think. And I'm going to break it down. I'm going to tell you why I'm suspicious, because I'm not saying that I'm right. I don't know. I do not have any idea, but it seems like things are sus AF, as we like to say here in the true crime community. So let's do our normal stuff. So I can't even see if the thumb is there and if you can see the hole that happened when the thumb fell. That's okay. That's all right. What else? Please make sure you're still subscribed. Share the video if you like it. Turn on your notification bell to ring. Everything I say is really, honestly, just an opinion. Everything that comes out of my mouth is simply my opinion for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and to learn something and to shed some light where there needs to be light shed. Every video that I've made to date has been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. It's really odd today how my computer screen is just black, but luckily I can see your chat, because if I couldn't see your chat, I wouldn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, what the heck is going on? So I think I covered all my bases. Let's just dive right in. The situation with Kate Middleton, I thought it was odd. Right away, I thought it was odd. I wasn't like not believing right away, but at this point, I'm going to say I really don't believe it. And I want to underscore, I could be wrong. I could be in left field. But one of the things that is like at the forefront of my mind, without even looking at my notes here, is that her 2-minute video reminds me, excuse me if I'm wrong, I apologize profusely. I will eat my words. I will eat my humble pie. Reminds me of Barry Morphew and his 26-second thing about Suzanne Morphew 8 days after she went missing. Because, before that, it was too soon. So why did they wait? Let's see, from Christmas, January, February, March. Why did they wait 3 months, they being the royals? And why is it only 2 minutes long? And why is she sitting on a metal bench? Why is she wearing jeans that zip up that are tight fitting? If this woman just had abdominal surgery, she's not going to be sitting up. She's not going to be on a metal bench, and she's not going to be wearing tight fitting clothing. That's freaking crazy. And I want to say again that all of our faces change. I mean, our looks change day to day, depending on how puffy we are, if we've gotten enough sleep, if we're retaining water, if the lighting is different, the angle is different. All these things make, in my opinion, every single photograph of any of us look very different from the next. So that's why video can be better. But there's so many weird things about that video. I don't even know where to begin. Let me begin with like the hair that is practically glued to her cheek. Wait a second. That was weird. Now the whole thing went blank, but I can still see, I can't help but wonder if, let's see, if they're on to me, right? And did anyone else get to see that her hand didn't have Kate's wedding ring on it? And she's missing the mole over the right corner of her mouth, right? There's a lot of things that are inconsistent, and those things can change. I mean, maybe she's got makeup on the mole. Maybe she had the mole removed. I've been throwing up red flags for weeks about the monarchy and Princess Kate. Oh, Sunset Salty Sage, I'm so glad that you're ahead of the game. I know a lot of people are throwing up red flags, and I know a lot of people are throwing up some of the same ones that I am. She was attacked by a freaking trampoline in September, right? That was where this whole thing started. She was attacked by a big, ugly, mean trampoline, and she hurt a few of her fingers, and they were taped together. That might not be a trampoline that attacked her, is what I'm saying. Everyone has to please hit the like button. It's free. There you go. Thank you. I thought Camilla swapped out Charles' cancer-ridden organ for Princess Kate's healthy one. And, I'm just going to be excruciatingly honest. Camila's a freaking ogre, and Charles is a freaking ogre. And maybe they don't like Kate because she's not an ogre, just like Princess Diana wasn't an ogre. And William used to not be an ogre, but he's becoming his father, in my humble opinion. Just my opinion, Sunset says. Why was her video of her solo? Exactly. Why was she alone? And why did she have her hair like glued to her cheek, you guys? I'm thinking that the face is too wide, and so they were hiding half of it with what I keep jokingly referring to as like a Princess Leia honey bun hairdo, except that it's like glued to her cheek and that it's like fallen open. Like, seriously, the hair is really bizarre. The hairline is not her hairline. The eyebrow is like super arched, and that's not how her eyebrows are, but only one of them. But if you look closely at the eyebrows in that video and her eyebrows in other pictures, they're not the same eyebrows. I have a video clip of her in that outfit, same hair with striped sweater from an interview years ago. No bench, though. I noticed the sweater in some other photographs last night when I was surfing around the internet, Sunset, and I thought, that's interesting. What are the chances? Like, why are they having her in the same sweater? But that would make a lot of sense, what you're saying, what you're alluding to, that they took some old footage. And I mean, with the AI these days, anything is possible. So if they have a doppelganger and then they can do some, they'll do plastic surgery on doppelgangers to make them more like, and then with the artificial intelligence, but then they forgot to do some things, you guys. Her birthday was on January 9th. She turned 42 on January 9th, and they forgot to have people visit her in the freaking hospital. The whole time she was in the hospital, she had one visitor, and it was after that. I have it in my notes. It was it was King Charles. He was the only one that visited her. Her husband did not. Her parents did not. Her kids did not. That makes no sense at all. Like, they forgot to have people pretend to visit her to make it look more real, right? There's so much weird. Like, why would she come out and say that she's fine and that she's okay when, if she has abdominal issues and she's got cancerous that was maybe removed, and then maybe they're doing the chemotherapy to prevent a reoccurrence of it, that's not fine. That's not doing fine, because the treatments can unalive you just as well as the cancer can unalive you. And that's my concern, is that suddenly she's going to be unalive. That is my concern, that maybe she is already unalive. I know there's videos going viral. I'm trying not to pay too much attention to that stuff. I'm trying to like get a nice swath of all the different stuff that's out there. Yeah, her eyebrows look funny too, Bex. And then on one side, exactly, one side it almost looks like her exact eyebrow, and then the other eyebrow, the one that's hidden under the Princess Leia honey bun that's fallen open, is like extremely dramatic, an extremely arched eyebrow. Maybe I need my tinfoil hat, CB says. And see, this is the problem with gaslighting, is the questioning of the self. So yeah, if this woman has her removed and she's getting preventative treatment to prevent it returning, because that is what you do, then she's not fine, and she's lying to her kids, and she's lying to herself, and she's lying to everybody to say that she's fine. She would be in really rough shape, and she wouldn't need anybody talking smack about her. But also, I don't think she would care. If she was in a life-threatening situation like that, I don't think she would care if there's a bunch of conspiracy theorists saying, well, I don't know about this. Like, you would ignore it. You wouldn't address it. You'd just be like, quit wasting your time, people. Get a life, right? Get a hobby. Isn't that what you would say? Get a freaking hobby, you losers. To quote Lindsay, I mean, some of that is exactly what she said, and some of it is my own words. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, that eyebrow pointed up. odd. Yeah, I call that like dramatic eyebrows, and they're nice. Dramatic eyebrows are nice. Sometimes people say I have dramatic eyebrows. Some people say that I don't have dramatic eyebrows. It's really neither here nor there to me, but our eyebrows can change if we're penciling them in, if we're shaping them, if we are just doing different things, plucking them. That's kind of like the shaping and shaving and all the different things that people do with their eyebrows these days. So she's got pretty, how do you say it in a nice ladylike way? She's got pretty significant eyebrows, kind of thick, kind of bushy, not to make any Idaho 4 jokes. But that whole bushy eyebrow thing was popular when Brooke Shields was doing it back in the late 70s. And then it got popular again a few years ago, and everybody started like bushing up their eyebrows. For a long time, it was like this skinny eyebrows were in, right? She's got very pronounced heavy eyebrows, and they're nice. They're good eyebrows, but they're not really arched. But in the video that was released last week, one of them is arched and not the other one. It's weird. Yeah, I catch shite, not always right, but I do catch shite. And Princess Catherine's eyebrow is wonky, arched up now. Yeah. Yes, that eyebrow pointed up. Odd. Yeah. Uh-huh. And it's just the one. And she also, I noticed when I started making videos that I have a tendency to kind of make my mouth asymmetrical when I'm talking. And she also has an asymmetrical mouth when she's talking, but not so much in that video. A little bit in that video. And again, it's hard to say. Probably less asymmetrical now than it was when I first started, because I noticed it and I'm like, oh, I should try to relax my face. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things like that that we do without realizing it. And yeah, I don't see a wedding ring either. And it was on in that interview. Right. They can airbrush it out. And this whole thing with Rose Hanbury, you guys, like, none of us made that up. That's been going on for a long, long time. She was a very good friend of Kate Middleton's, allegedly. She attended the wedding. I think the wedding was in 2011, I think. And Rose Hanbury is married to somebody more than 20 years older than her. She has twin boys that maybe are around the same age as Catherine's oldest son, Catherine and Williams. And then she has a daughter that's the exact same age as their daughter. And that's the daughter that it's rumored is possibly a love child with Rose and William. And hopefully it's not, because that kind of stuff really messes with people. It's challenging. Life is challenging without that kind of stuff. But family secrets and lies really take a toll on mental health. Really take a toll, especially the children. And man, what in the world is going on with this? Fishy Beck says her ring was on and off on this interview of Kate Princess. Weird, you guys. Defined Kate's wedding ring was glitched off and on her hand. Are you serious, Michael? Are you a plant? No, just kidding. I did not notice it off and on. See, and this is the thing. Like, this is why you need to rewatch things. I started trying to rewatch it like at a slower speed and a faster speed, because you pick up different things. But there are so many weird things that I picked up, and I want to look at my notes so that I can remember them, because I can't remember off the top of my brain, especially with this blank screen and it just being different. Although, like I said, overall, I pretty much like the blank screen. Michael, I watched the original from BBC and her ring is there. There is another version going around that shows no ring. It's weird. Yeah. And then the whole thing with them shopping at the freaking market. Again, if if she had abdominal surgery, and why would they be so vague about abdominal surgery? Abdominal surgery is very, very serious. I mean, even if it's something like a tummy tuck, which I doubt she had anything like a tummy tuck because she had a super flat tummy already. But your abdomen is where all your freaking vital organs are. And infection, staph infection, things can go awry in the blink of an eye. So if what they say is true and they were doing this surgery, even though she announced that she was going to be traveling to Italy at the early part of the year, but sure, she could have announced that and then they said, "Hey, that surgery that we were going to do in the summer, let's go ahead and do it now because the whatever reason." I was going to say the surgeon's schedule opened up, but the surgeon is going to open up their schedule for the princess. Like, they're not going to have to like wait until the surgeon has time, right? The surgeon is going to make time. Just like they don't need to go to the farmer's market to buy their fresh fruits and veggies. The farmer's market is going to be brought to their freaking doorstep, put in their kitchen and washed and cut and fed to them. I mean, come on. I have a feeling it may not have actually been Princess Catherine in that current video. I pray she is okay. And that if she is battling cancer, I know how terrifying it can feel. Swift recovery. This is what really scares me, Sunset. Is like at this point, and this is going to sound weird, so let me explain. At this point, I'm hoping that it is cancer that she had. Because if they're making that up, first of all, that's a really sick thing to do, to make that up. And people that make that up and publicize it usually go to jail, right? We've seen that lately in the last few years. But her having a cancer situation would be a lot safer than the alternative. The alternative, she is a freaking prisoner and she's as good as deceased if she's not already deceased. But it seems to me that there's a possibility that she is already. Like, why did they not have anyone visit her on her birthday? Why was the only person to visit her her ogre father-in-law and not her own parents and not her children and not her husband that she says is so supportive and such a blessing in her life? No, I don't buy it. And I'm not even so sure that it was a freaking trampoline that attacked her and hurt her fingers in September. A trampoline, but I was attacked by the leg of a chair back there in January that my big toe is still recovering from. Let's see. True Bex, and what else has happened in the world the day of Kate's interview? Michael, thank you for saying that because I didn't want to be the one to say it. The attack in Moscow, and now I can't say it right. Moscow, right? Moscow. Anyway, the attack at the music hall in Russia. Wow. And now they're up to, I think, about maybe roughly 140 deceased. You guys know that attack went on for 60 minutes before the law enforcement arrived? Are you aware of that? An hour. And how many people were videotaping it and posting it on the internet? I mean, I've seen some of those videotapes. It's horrifying. An hour? Like, that tells me that they didn't want to intervene, that they were waiting an hour on purpose. But yeah, Michael, I thought the same thing. Is like, was that supposed to be a distraction from the BS interview? Or, I mean, not even an interview, a pre-recorded statement, which again is like Barry Morphew. It's just like Barry Morphew. Yeah, Sunset. So yeah, it was that mass shooting that went on for an hour before law enforcement arrived at the concert hall. I think the concert hall holds like 6,000 or more. I don't think it was full, but I think it was a lot of people. Camilla DeVille, Sunset. That's a good one. Yeah, she's gross. We have always thought that she was gross, right? And for Prince Charles to be in love with her and not Princess Diana, good. then he should have married her and not Princess Diana to begin with. But he wanted the pretty little young Barbie looking thing. He didn't want the public image of being married to the ugly freaking stepsister from the Disney cartoons. But they are ogres and they belong together, in my humble opinion. And I'm not even going to apologize for that. Even though at the same time, let me just say, looks don't matter, right? Looks really don't matter. I mean, you love who you love. Was this fire? Yeah, Bex. And then they set the place on fire after 5 gunmen bust in and shot up the place. Hat, if Putin had done that, I would not put anything past Putin. Poo-poo. Yeah, it's crazy. And then to turn around and blame the country he is invading, diabolical mofo Putin. He's insane. And we all know that the royals control much more of the world than just the UK. So my thought is that they may be in cahoots together. I know that's a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but again, let me phrase it as a question. Could they be in cahoots with each other? I just had a commercial really fast. I apologize, Michael. Money, 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 Mr. Krabs. Okay, so early stages, preventative treatment. And then she says at the end of her 2-minute video, I just want everyone out there with cancer to know that you're not alone. But yet she's alone. Irony. The irony that she's trying to say you're not alone when she's sitting there all freaking alone. Why do a video? Why not have your public relations department handle it? And why did they send out those tweets where she said that she was trying out her photoshopping skills, like with the Mother's Day photograph, and that she's just really bad at photoshopping and that she apologizes profusely? WTF, come on, this is effing crazy. This is serious gaslighting, you guys. Serious gaslighting. Insane. Sunset, why do you keep retracting your comments? I get so curious. KGB, FSB, an agent. Yeah. Okay. So the children of Rose and the children of Princess Kate and the Duke that she's married to, shame on the propaganda. If they're trying to weaponize the children and weaponize illness and trying to use that as a way to say, back off, you guys are sick, don't talk about this princess, she's got serious medical situations going on, we've got little kids involved. Yeah, we all know that. Wouldn't her kids have went to see her at the hospital? Give me an effing break, you guys. Give me an effing break. Okay, so the last time that the public knows for sure that there was a Kate sighting was Christmas, right? And that was church. 2 days after Christmas, an ambulance goes to where the family is staying and leaves with the emergency lights. They come in with the emergency lights, they leave with the emergency. And nothing is said about it, you guys. Nothing is said. That is suspicious right there. People are going to notice it's an ambulance. You can say, oh, the cook burned themselves. Or you can say, Princess Kate was attacked by that trampoline again. Why was nothing said about that? The ambulance. And then the first visit to her in the hospital was not until January 26th, and that was King Charles. No other family member ever visited her, ever, never, not once, according to my sources. And let me just do a disclaimer that maybe I'm just not looking in places. All the information that I've gleaned is from the internet, from Google searches. I've been Googling searches of Kate Middleton this, Princess Kate that. all freaking weekend. Okay. So then King Charles announces his cancer on the 5th of February. 2 days later, Harry and Meghan visit him. Harry only visited his dad for 45 minutes, according to my sources. So, looks don't matter. However, they match each other in levels of ugly. Right. Looks absolutely don't matter. But when you're beautiful, you kind of emulate the beauty. Like, I mean, Rose Hanbury is a good example. She does not have the same chiseled features as Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton is much more of like your typical prototype of cute and beautiful in our culture. Rose Hanbury, however, is extremely, extremely gorgeous. And sometimes she looks cute, but she does not have those same types of features. She's got a much more distinguished looking face. And what I'm trying to say is the kind of looks that can look ugly if a person is acting ugly. Like, take Scammy and the Kylie Rodney horror. I personally think Scammy is a very pretty package from the outside if you don't know what a disgusting scumbag she is. When you see what a disgusting scumbag she is on the inside, it emulates on the outside, and she's no longer the slightest bit pretty. She's absolutely disgusting skank, in my opinion. Sunset says, spies, agreed Sandra. One thing, F around and find out she was isolated to get rid of her in secret. Well, and is she being threatened? And why would King Charles go in there to talk with her on that day in January? What was that, January 26th? Was he talking with her, or was he just talking with the people that were holding her? I mean, taking care of her. I mean, if she found out about an affair, which apparently she had a falling out with Rose Hanbury at least 5 years ago, if not more, right? She's no longer friends with Rose Hanbury, from what I've seen. However, it seems that her spouse is still friends with her. I don't know. Normally, situation like that, there might be a story of what their falling out was about. Might be. As some kind of cover. But when you have lifelong friends, it's unfortunately a very typical scenario. People sleeping with each other's spouses. It's horrifying, especially when you involve kids. But people get crazy with this stuff. People get crazy. Sunset says disagree, and I'm not sure with what. Michael says, what else is going on in the world that the public knows that the super, super rich are building underground bunkers is good, in Miami, where they had the wildfire from lasers. Miami was where that weird fire was that Shan was talking about, Michael? Yeah, the whole thing with the 15-minute cities, and Brush Junkie dropped a really good video a few days ago. I think it was Saturday. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Did everyone get to see Truth Tsunami video from last night? I saw that she made one. I didn't get to see it yet. Her ugliness shines through. Yeah, Scammy. Yeah, she's so gross. So gross. And then you take somebody like Kylie, who is so cute, so pretty. But if she had that same kind of ugly personality, she would quickly look not pretty also. But she didn't have that kind of ugly personality, and her beauty shined through everything. I mean, she was just like a freaking floodlight of good and what's good in the world, in my opinion. And so let's see. Karma, sweet karma, I'm wishing upon Yeah. Maui and wildfires. Yep, Maui. Oh, so when you said Miami, you meant Maui, and it was like a typo. Because yeah, Shan had said something about some direct energy weapon type of fires in Florida a few weeks ago, and I was never able to find anything out about that. It was right after the Texas ones. So after Maui, then there was the oh, where were the ones that were Chile, and then Texas, and then Florida, allegedly. Um, as usual, they twist everything. So MC said she struck 9 channels. Oh my goodness. Well, I was going to say good because YouTube can do what they want with her. But the problem is if the Hamburglers are, say, on the board of directors for YouTube, or their friends are on the board of directors for YouTube, then they're going to let MC Ultra run amok and do whatever the heck she wants, right? I don't know. OMG, that is so very messed up. Yeah, Kylie represented good, didn't she? Absolutely. So, where's all the rest of my notes? Oh, the circular logic, the circular thinking. And the children in the royal couple with William and Kate are 5 years old, 8 years old, and 12 years old. So the 5-year-old and the 12-year-old are the boys. The little girl who's 8 is the same age as Rose Hanbury's daughter. So to reiterate, that's the daughter that is rumored and has been rumored for a long time, I guess. I hadn't paid attention that it could possibly be not her husband's biological child. I don't know. I do not know. St. Mary Magdalene Church is where they were on Christmas. And then the Sandrium is the name of the place that they were, where the ambulance came on the 28th, 3 days after Christmas, the location that they were for holiday for Christmas. On January 17th was when the news broke out about the planned surgery. I already went over this. The 28th was when King Charles allegedly visited Kate in the hospital. And then it was right after that that the Spanish journalist Concha Chanela said that she has sources from inside the royal family, or the, from inside. I don't know if they're royal family members or people that work for the royal family, but her sources that she trusts, that she stands by, told her that the princess was deceased. So my concern right now is for the safety of this Concha Chiella. I'm sure I'm not saying her name right. Concha Chiella. She's the one who I think is a very reputable journalist from Spain, who said that her sources are solid, and any good journalist is never going to give up their sources. So she's the one who said it was an induced coma. And then it was February 5th was when King Charles' cancer diagnosis was public. And then the royal family, or the PR folks, said that it was going to take 9 months for Kate to recover with the prognosis that she has. 9 months. That's wild. And then you had February 20th was when Prince William used his solo monogram on an announcement, a solo monogram that he hasn't used since prior to getting married, apparently. On the 27th, it was his godfather's memorial service, and I think he was not only scheduled to be there, I think he was scheduled to speak, and he canceled. That was February 27th. This is just effed up. I'm still just stuck at the nobody visited her on her birthday, and that her mom and dad didn't visit, but her, excuse my opinion, douchebag husband's father visited, allegedly. Like, I don't buy that. That's weird. Why would he visit, not her mom, not her dad, not her husband, not her kids? Why did nobody visit her on her birthday? I mean, even if she was in a coma, you would think that her beloved family members would want to come visit her on her birthday. Maybe especially if she was in a coma. Kylie's light is so bright that she is going to get her justice. Amen. I sure hope so. Hey, Fred Field, nice to see you. And Thing One, F Around and Find Out says, Michael, your words resonate truth. Love will save the day today. Amen. God bless everyone. Amen. Yeah. So we're just at 40 minutes, you guys. I did want to talk about some of the other cases that I try to avoid. I try to avoid the Madeline Soto case. I'd like to talk about that a little bit, if it's okay with you guys to switch gears here. Also, the one that I never talk about, the is it called 8 Passengers? The Ruby Franke case. I never talk about that case. And I have found out some things that I want to share. You guys are probably well aware. I know a lot of people have followed the Ruby Franke case. I have not wanted to. I can't stand the child abuse. I can't stand the victimization. So the thing that gets me with the Princess Kate is she being victimized? If she has cancer and then she's sitting in her hospital bed doing a really bad job of photo editing her Mother's Day fake picture, you would think that her publicist people would say, you know what, you didn't do a really good job with that. Let's clean it up before we release it. Like, what is going on, you guys? There's so much weird stuff like that. So much weird stuff. The husband is the next of kin and runs the show. Oh, you mean like for Princess Kate, you mean William? Because, yeah, in real life, that's how it would be. And yeah, Ruby is just a nightmare. Twisted sister. Her husband or estranged husband, I don't know if they're divorced or estranged, also twisted and weird. And then the therapist that was involved with the abuse of all of her children. The whole thing is so horrifying. Basically, in my opinion, if that 12-year-old boy didn't escape and go to that neighbor's house and get help, there certainly would have been fatalities. And Ruby and the therapist lady, I'm forgetting, not lady, therapist thing, forgetting her name right now. Apparently they were planning on buying property together. Like, that therapist was, I mean, she can call herself a therapist. She was no therapist at all. She was a complete whack job. And moved in with them and then controlled the family, controlled the finances. Jody, thank you. Jody Hildebrandt or something like that. Hildebrandt. Bank locks on doors and starving children in a huge compound in a desolate place where nobody even knew kids lived. And I'm not sure if you're talking about a different case or what it is. If you want to clarify, Sunset Salty Sage. Bank locks on doors and starving children. Oh, you're talking about this case. Bank locks. Got it. I'm like, the bank? What? Okay, so bank locks on the doors. Starving children in a huge compound in a desolate place where nobody even knew kids lived. Right, because Jody had Ruby bring the kids to her house, and I mean, it's freaking crazy the things that they were doing to these kids as alleged punishments. Like, it's not punishment. Punishment is like a discipline, like saying, I'm going to take your cell phone for a day, or no video games for you for the next 6 hours. That's punishment. Starving children is abuse, pure and simple. You would never withhold food from a child, no matter how poorly behaved they were. That's completely insane. I don't even want to say in my humble opinion, because that's just fact, in my humble opinion. She had a safe room too. Oh, that's so scary. And yeah, I think that Jody was in love with. Okay, thanks, Sunset. Yeah, it took me a minute because I'm like, the bank locks on doors. So I was totally just misreading everything. Bank locks on the doors in the Franke case. So it seems like Jody had a thing for Ruby, right? Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrank. So Hildebrank was a lot older. Ruby Frank's husband, who seems like he has it together but doesn't have it together. I mean, he told some weird stories, really weird stories. And a huge safe in a vault, like a bunker ish. Yeah, that's a sin. They were lovers, in my opinion. Well, I think the husband said that they would lock themselves in the bedroom for like 8 or 9 hours at a time. Sunset, I'll punctuate. My apologies. That's fine. And it was also just the way I was reading it. Looked like they got close. Right. And then Jody had access to their banks. She was having them sign over property and car titles. And, the husband was, in his own admission, addicted to pornography at some point. So that's good that he got a handle on that, and that was used as a springboard to do an intervention. But it was, I think, a springboard that was abused as something way beyond an intervention, what I would call meddling. I mean, therapists aren't supposed to live with clients. Therapists are not supposed to take any types of gifts from clients, simply payment for treatment, and that's it. And therapists certainly don't have any physical contact with any of their clients or clients' family members. That's just completely unethical and illegal, both. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's such an abuse of power. And the abuses of power in these situations are profound. When you have, like, a clinician, a mental health clinician is considered a doctor, and people want to get the help. People want to get their approval, and they'll do anything in many situations like that. It's just awful. And these poor kids that their parents weren't looking out for them. This person who calls herself a therapist certainly wasn't looking out for them. Was it 7 kids or was it 8? I know the TV show or the YouTube channel was called 8 Passengers. But I think they had 7 kids, right? Good afternoon, Dawn. Nice to see you. So what was the other case that I try so hard not to talk about because it's so horrifying? The Madeline Soto case. It's so, so sad. And I'm sure you guys have been paying attention to all the information that keeps coming out about what had gone on and what led up to her passing. I guess now the mom and the dad are still continuing to deny having anything to do with it. And it's looking to me like there could be an arrest coming with the mom, if there hasn't been already, and I just didn't see that today. I don't know. One thing, LOL, when I got to work this morning, I had to listen to your live singing in the shower. Awesome. That's cute. I missed that. I'll have to check that out. Oops, my screen froze for a sec. Yeah, and I don't know why my screen has been black this whole time. We've been on for almost 50 minutes, and it seems that you guys can see me. I can see your chat, so that's all that really matters. Like I said, in a way, it's kind of freeing to not have the screen of yourself staring down at you to make you all self-conscious and all that. Who knows what my hair is doing, or my shirt, or God forbid, right? Silliness. I mean, it's a huge distraction, really. Jazz has a magic black mirror on the full moon. Watch out. Maybe it has something to do with the lunar eclipse. Thank you for reminding me. What did I do with my phone? That's what I wanted to look up, was the lunar eclipse. Wasn't that last night, or is it today? Let's see. So I guess that the ring on Kate Middleton's hand, one of my mods texted me that in the video, when she moves her hand, the ring goes missing. One of the comments mentions, so this is a video. Let me see what video this is. It's a TikTok video that they sent. Allison Klemp. It's got 60,000 likes almost. That's a lot. Let's see. Here, should I show this to you guys? Let's see if I can.
But I think it might be a little bit crazier to just take what the British royal family says at face value. I am increasingly becoming turned on to the idea that this video is AI. There's a lot of people talking about it, but just look at her. Okay, so we see her ring. Now watch this video. Okay, so this is super slow down. So ring is there. Ring is gone. Wow. Ring is back. It's even if we forget about the fact that these flowers seem out of season to be blooming like that, considering England has been in the 40s for the past week or so. Set aside the fact that there's no movement behind her, there's no wind, the flowers aren't moving at all. Set aside the fact that this is the exact same outfit and hairstyling she had in that video that was filmed 8 years ago in the same garden. Mental health is just as important. Best case scenario, this is filmed on a studio with a green screen. Do we really believe this video is on the up and up? There's nothing suspicious going on at all?
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
Okay, that was a good video. Thanks to my mod for sending that to me while I'm on my live, huh? But I wanted to Google that. Stop. Okay, I wanted. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, I can't stand it when it won't let me out of. That's what the person who walked past my dog told their child. Stop it. Okay, I want to find the lunar eclipse. Sorry, you guys. I try not to pick up my phone. Eclipse, because once I do, then it turns my brain into bubble gum. So the worm moon eclipse. What about it? Stop. Did you see the full worm moon partial eclipse? And then we all know that the solar eclipse is happening April 8th, I think. And let's see. What time does the lunar eclipse start? That's weird. What does NASA have to say about this? Come on, NASA. Tell me what you know. It's just not going to tell me what it is that I'm looking for. Don't you hate that? When you're looking for something in particular, it's hard to find. So here we go. March 25th. Did I lose you guys? Dang it. Oh, you're still there. That was crazy. The whole thing went black. Okay, so March 25th is the lunar eclipse. But what time? I want to know. So let's see. Let me just ask. What time here? What time is lunar eclipse March 25th, 2024? So it is or was at 12:53 a.m. The greatest eclipse will be at 3:12 a.m. So it already happened. The moon will appear to be slightly darker than usual. Yeah, I thought it happened last night. I wonder if that has anything to do with what is going weird with the laptop. Yeah, last night. Oh, thanks, you guys. See, I wouldn't have been able to read your comments anyway because the whole thing went black, not just my screen, but the chat too. The whole thing shut down. That was really weird. So look how broad her shoulders are. Annie Ruler says, and I mean, Kate Middleton is very tall and slender, but it seems that the person who was in the farmer's market over the weekend was even taller and even more slender, doesn't it? I understand the male believers now. Oh, thinking that it's somebody in drag because, yeah, it's hard to find a woman that tall and that thin. Wow. Annie Ruler, you're always so far ahead of me. You blow my mind. I'm watching MC play A for J Entire Lives as she struck people for doing. Man, A for J. Oh, goodness. What a weirdo. 3 a.m. last night. This a.m. actually. Right. The same a.m. that we were just in. The one that just ended because now it's p.m. At least on the East Coast. The West Coast, it's still a.m. And solar eclipse lasts 3 seconds short of the song. And yes, still here. Okay. Yeah, I always think of that song, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Did you guys see that movie Bandits with Bruce Willis and who is the guy that used to be married to Angelina Jolie? Billy Bob Thornton. Love Bandits with Billy Bob Thornton, Kate Blanchett, and Bruce Willis. And that song Total Eclipse of the Heart is so funny in that movie. Their placement of it was just perfect. That's a cute movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Most people have probably seen Bandits. I think it came out like in the 90s. Really cute. And yeah, I always wondered what Angelina Jolie saw in Billy Bob until I saw that movie and I just fell in love with him. I know he's a little weird to say the least, but yeah, I totally understood at that point. Bruce Willis. I like Billy Bob in series Goliath. I have not seen. So you guys, we haven't talked about our normal cases. Shall we touch on Kylie Rodney? She's always the most important case to me. Shall we touch on the Watts case? Because Kelly with Watts the Obsession did do her live with the Tilted Lawyer on, and I was watching that live. I was in her chat. I was also simultaneously watching Shan's live, and I was in that chat. And honestly, it was really hard to absorb too much of the information from either one, but I did not want to miss either one live. So I might have to go back when I have free time and rewatch, so that I don't rewatch them at the same time together, but rewatch them where I'm just focusing on one. Because yeah, the squirrel brain just doesn't really work with that whole schizophrenic thing. Does not do it for me. He's a detective. Oh, cute. Billy Bob would be a good detective. Yeah. Yeah, it was sad that him and Angelina Jolie got divorced like right after she adopted her first child. Um, Goliath is a good show. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention, you guys. I'm glad I remembered this before I wrapped up. I have the thing on my lapel, the mic. I wanted to mention that disgusting Nickelodeon thing on HBO Max, The Quiet on Set. I watched almost the first half of the series, so I'm still in the midst of it. It's really hard to watch, and I don't really want to watch any more of it, but I'm going to try to make myself, because I do think it's informative and educational and so freaking disgusting. Again, the abuse of power, these MFs that are just such sick scum, and then victimizing all of these children. Oh, so gross. So gross. I'm glad that you guys recommended that to me. I think it was Ara specifically who recommended to see that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, most of you probably do. That whole Nickelodeon outing of the dirtbags on the Nickelodeon shows. And oh, so freaking sad. So sad. Unbelievable what these child stars have had to go through. And, we've all known that that kind of stuff has been going on in Hollywood forever. It reminded me, of course, of Harvey Weinstein. It reminded me of the elite gymnastics Olympic coach, Nasar. Is that his name? The guy who was sexually abusing all the gymnastics stars. Just so freaking disgusting. Absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah. Regarding Kylie community and water rights in Hawaii, what do we think after Maui and possible water issues? Annie Ruler, yeah. I remember when I first stumbled across the whole thing with the water rights with her granddad, and I had no idea the gold mine of information that I had tripped over. Literally found it while I was looking for other stuff. One of those things. And I'd like to go back to find that first video that I mentioned it, because then it blew up and everybody was all about the water rights. Like, that is probably anyone who has seen the movie Chinatown with Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. It's the same freaking story as Kylie Rodney, literally. From the 70s. I think it was 1978. Chinatown with Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. Same freaking story as what happened with Kylie Rodney. So to get to your question, Annie Ruler, the water rights in Hawaii, we have to remember that the locals had won the 20-some year lawsuit of the water rights. And then they had to get their applications in to get access to the water that they won the rights to by August 7th. And then the fires happened on August 8th. I mean, these people are freaking crazy. What's so gross is that in the past, they've been able to do this stuff and get away with it free and clear, and that they are pretty much still getting away with it free and clear. Those of us that look at it and ask questions get called crazy conspiracy theorists, and then they just keep doing what they're doing, and we're the fringe, and they're the authorities, and everything's fine. Nothing to see over here, folks. So Brush Junkie's latest video was a testimonial of this older gentleman who was one of the last people to get out of his apartment complex and get to safety. And He's a therapist by profession and specializes in post-traumatic stress disorder, I think. I know that he is suffering severe post-traumatic stress disorder, but he did a wonderful interview with Tracy from Brush Junkie. And one of the things that he said is that 80% of the people over there in Lahaina are in 100% disbelief or denial that what happened was orchestrated. So again, I'm putting the link to that video in the description. But the situation in Hawaii with the land rights and the water rights, it's absolutely hideous. Absolutely hideous. And it all has to do with greed, right? I mean, I want to talk about somebody I never talk about. I want to talk about Kim Kardashian for a second, because apparently she made a TikTok video making fun of looking for Kate Middleton. And she's one of the only famous people that's not willing to apologize for doing that. And I'm thinking she probably doesn't want to apologize because she knows that this is a bunch of shenanigans. So I didn't see the TikTok video or the photograph or whatever it was, but I was told about it. Like, she was like, oh, I'm off to look for Kate right now. And she was like looking in her bookshelves, looking at the title of the books and stuff like that. And was she just being random, or was she making, like, alluding to something like history, a history book? I don't know. I don't know what the book titles were that she was looking at. So if anybody has that information and wants to email it to me, that would be much appreciated. You guys know my email, justiceatooz@gmail.com, right? Okay. And Sunset says, heartbreaking for these kids. I can't imagine what Amanda Bynes endured. There's rumors that she had been pregnant at 13. And I don't think it's just rumors. I think it's factual information that she had been institutionalized in a psychiatric facility at some point. It's unbelievable. Don't be hating. I love that handle. I just always have trouble deciphering it. Does anyone have a backache today? Me and a few other people I know can't move from backaches. Could be weather or cosmic activity. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I did do a yoga class this morning, and it was a lot harder for me both to do the yoga and to get myself there than normal. So maybe that had something to do with the lunar eclipse. Yes, don't be hating. Don't be hating. It's so funny, the letters and the numbers, because the B and the 8, they confuse me. I guess with my dyslexia, they're like jumping around. Don't be hating. Nasser, yeah. And he's in jail for over 100 years now. But look at all the freaking damage and harm that he did. And then we look at Harvey Weinstein, and we look at Epstein, and then people try to pretend like these are isolated events, and like because these monsters are caught that everybody's safe. And no, it's like whack-a-mole. There's plenty more where that came from. You know, you take one out and 5 others will pop up. I mean, come on. And the whole thing with it's so awful and disgusting. And for these child entertainment industries to be so blatant about it is insane. Absolutely insane. Arthritis from moisture, from storms, maybe. I recommend Tiger Balm, topical rug for muscle kind of pain. I love Tiger Balm, but my favorite is just a hot bath with Epsom salt and essential oils. I use bergamot or bergamo, however you want to say it. You know, the kind of essence that's in Earl Grey tea. So you can actually use Earl Grey tea bags if you don't have the bergamot oil. Geranium and eucalyptus. That's a really good like stress remedy right there. really healing. So I'll say it again, bergamot or bergamot, geranium, and eucalyptus with Epsom salt in a hot bath. It's so nice. It's physically and psychologically extremely rejuvenating, and it's been my go-to for probably 30 years now, coming up on 30 years. Since graduate school, when I had to discover that because I needed it because I was so stressed out all the time, even though I loved it. I loved graduate school. It was just a very stressful time, especially finishing graduate school was when I got very stressed out. Like, all of the final, not so much exams, but final projects and presentations, and just, like you keep handing in your last thing and you keep thinking, this is the last thing. No, this is the last thing. And it's just like endless. Okay, I have to hand this thing in. Now I'm done. No, there's still this. There's still that. There's still the other. Anyway, I got so stressed out. And yeah, graduation is always stressful because then you're getting into the real world. And that's usually more stressful than graduate school, unfortunately. Like you hear that when you're in graduate school and you're like, no, that can't be possible. Sunset, I have found arnica cream since Amber Turd, Miracle Bruises, and Pain Control. And, arnica is the bomb. You can do arnica pills, like little homeopathic pellets, and or you can do external gels and creams. Arnica is magic. It is the best. The other best little mom's remedy or grandma's remedy that I would like to share with you guys before I wrap up for today is camphofenique. So I'm not getting paid to advertise for them, but if you guys don't know what camphofenique is, you can look it up. It's like CAMPHOR, and then Fenique is spelled PHY, and then another PH, and then it ends with QUE. So it's two words. Camphofenique comes in a little green bottle, and the bottle usually comes in a little yellow box. It's like $5, and it's for cuts and sores and even acne. It works like a miracle. Like arnica cream for bruises and camphofenique for cuts. That's what I swear by. Anyway, let's finish up here. Let's wrap up after I get your comments caught up. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind. How does it happen? But we still do not really know what happened with Kylie. At least I don't. Yeah, and we can talk about Kylie before we wrap up. I'm so appreciative of all the channels that keep talking about Kylie. And, I do get distracted with other cases. At the same time, I feel like learning about other cases can help apply certain things back to Kylie's case. And it just gets so frustrating. It's so sad. Like where I'm at right now, and probably where I've been stuck for most of the last year and a half, is how on earth can Scammy say all the crazy crap that came out of her mouth and not be under investigation, not be interrogated, not be arrested? She swears up and down that she was the last person to see Kylie, talk to Kylie, know what was going on with her. Not to mention all the slip ups that she made, but all the things that she intentionally said again and again and again makes her prime suspect number one, makes her prime person of interest. It's unreal. Like that girl probably did something herself, in my opinion. We know 100% for sure that she knows exactly what happened to Kylie. And also MC Ultra knows exactly what happened to Kylie. She'll say it sometimes. She'll say, oh, I know what you don't know. Wouldn't you like to know? And then other times she's like, I don't know. Why does everybody think that I know? It's like, well, because you keep telling people that you know, and you sound like you know because you're so sure about things that you shouldn't be so sure of. But no, I'm thinking the Hamburglar kid knows exactly what happened too and might have done something. I don't know. That whole thing with the it was one of the last ninja chihuahuas, I think, like the second to last. And maybe Illuminated Mind did a really good one over the weekend too, and just talking about the pack of kids with the baseball bats. Pack of boys, not just kids, but teenage boys with baseball bats. And were they wiffle ball bats, or were they like wooden bats? Were they metal bats? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's violent. You don't just run around with bats at a party like it's nothing, the way it's been downplayed like it was nothing. Like, oh yeah, they were just, running around at the Lord of the Flies party without their shirts on, with the baseball bats, jumping up on cars. No biggie. That's like how we always do it. To really send off the graduates with a bang. Absolutely effed up. Scammy's dad was allegedly relocated witness out of Fresno area or further south. Have the investigators resurfaced that? I have not heard this, Miss Annie Ruler. It's a hot piece of information. Hello, Mom First Always. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Where did it go? I'm so far back. Sorry. Yes, and Tiger Balm does last forever, and don't ever get it in your eyes. I've done that, and it's not fun. If you're like putting it on your temples for a headache, just be really careful that it can't get into your eyes. Mom First, friend limping with arthritis almost stands up from CBD and arnica. I'm all about trying some holistic stuff. I should remember yoga too, but hard with low motivation and no energy. Some days are better than others. And the thing with yoga, because, I can be in that same boat with feeling intimidated by yoga and feeling resistance, not wanting to do it, because, it can be so hard. First of all, don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. And anything that feels too hard, modify it or just take a break. Yoga is a favor that you're doing for yourself. It's an investment in your health, and it should feel good, and it's going to help you be more motivated and have more energy. And, when you're in that cycle, that can be hard, but when you're feeling low energy and unmotivated, just give yourself some rest and then try to push yourself to do a little yoga, and to keep it positive. Don't do anything that is stressful or painful. Spelled that wrong. Kim Kardashian not into pressure and blackmail. The thing about Kim Kardashian that gets me is she got famous from the whole OJ thing. And when OJ did the slow speed white Bronco chase and ended up at the Kardashians' house, he went straight into Kim's bedroom and sat on her bed with her dad. And the rest is history. It's creepy AF. I mean, Nicole Brown Simpson was like a second mom to those Kardashians with Chris. I mean, that whole thing, it's making my head hurt just it up, because it's just so much dark and evil. I know I'm bad with that. Solar flare glitch, whack-a-mole, best description of trolls and pet pedos. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. They're so gross. Bergmont is in the scent Happy. I love it. I don't know that I know the Happy scent. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, Bergmont is awesome, but I think they say Bergmo because it's like French, right? Bergmo, geranium, Epsom salt. Did you say eucalyptus too? I did. Yeah, the three of them. And it can be expensive. Like buying those 3 little bottles of essential oil at the health food store can easily run you $50. Epsom salt is cheap. I get big boxes of it that has 2 big bags at Costco for like $5 or $10, I forget. But the essential oils are expensive when you have to buy all 3 of them at once, but they last forever. They last a long time. And then when you run out, you only need to buy one at a time. It's not so bad, just like $10 or $15. Eucalyptus is great in the shower with steam as long as you're not allergic. Eucalyptus scent gives me migraine headaches for some reason. So I would modify. I would just do like the geranium, the bergamot, or the bergamot, and then you can just leave it there or try something else in there if you like. It has camphor oil in it. Good stuff. Yeah. Camphophenique. Thank you, Sunset Salty Sage. Camphophenique. You spelled it much better than I did. You probably spelled it the right way. I love this community where we can talk health, yoga, cosmos, and crime. I love it too, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to hit that like button. Oh, I can't even tell if you can see where the creepy white thumb is. I was going to tell you guys about this weird, cool thing here, but since I can't really see the screen, I'm not going to pick it up or touch it. It black rainbow. It's plastic, and actually I will pick it up and touch it, even though I can't see the screen, just because I want to show you guys what it is, because it's so cool. It's like one of my most recent additions. So it's called a file sorter from the company Real Space that made it. And you see how it is like a black rainbow. So it's to put your files in, but I like it kind of like a concert hall. So that's why I have the candle in it and have it down here. Just for fun geometric shapes, because I'm all about the fun geometric shapes. And yeah, what you said, health, yoga, cosmos, and crimes, and it all comes together, doesn't it? No eucalyptus for you, Dawn. Sorry, yikes. Witch hazel for bruising. Also, really, I know witch hazel can be like a good toner for cuts and cleaning. I didn't know for bruises. That's awesome, Sandra. Scratches and scrapes on legs and necks. Yeah, Scammy was a mess. Well, she could have used the remedies, right? The camphophenique and the arnica and the witch hazel. Man, don't be hating. Let's see. You say you know, when you say you know, you probably know. Witch hazel, indeed, another staple in the powder room. Absolutely. I love the smell of witch hazel. No regrets or shame, even scarier, right? Truly psychopathic. I was honestly thinking she had cancer. I reacted the same way. Eyes or other areas, maybe not that I mentioned it. Someone will find him dad's old identity, relocated and given federal contracts. Her mama exploited her. Gross. And you were probably talking about the Kardashians. Yeah, the Kardashian situation is so freaking out of control. Leaked her sex tape. Yeah, that was crazy. Remember, Paris Hilton had a allegedly leaked sex tape too. I mean, I think that these people leak them on purpose as a way to get famous with porn, basically. I mean, I've hit 3 or 4 like buttons for you today, Jazz. Oh, thank you. However many you need. That's so sweet. Thanks. Castor oil help get rid of dark spots and skin tags. Are you serious, Sunset Salty Sage? I was lied to about castor oil helping deliver a child. I don't even want to tell you guys that story. I'm not going to. I'll save it for another disgusting time. Don't ever let anybody convince you that you should put any castor oil in your mouth, ever. Just don't. It's so gross. Where did you buy? My daughter's really into arches and rainbows. Where did I buy it? Let's see. The company says on it, I'm thinking Target or Walmart. It's the company is called Real Space File Sorter. And what does it say here? Office Club. Office Depot. Okay, it's from Office Depot. There. Yeah, I would have guessed Walmart or Target. I try to stay away from Walmart, but you know, sometimes you got to go there. when I was trying to find Campho-Phenique, I almost was afraid I was going to have to go to Walmart. They didn't have it at Target. They didn't have it at CVS. I finally found it at Kroger's. So it can be hard to find, but you can also buy it online. And so I wanted it that very day for my toe. So I did a lot of tea tree oil on healing up my toe, but then I felt like I needed the Campho-Phenique too. Read it. No, not pregnant. Right. The castor oil, like I said, I don't want to tell the story. Yeah, it was, day 5 that I was overdue with my first child, and I'm just not going to tell the story. It induces premature labor, very dangerous if pregnant, from what I've read. Yeah, it's like considered like an old holistic remedy to getting a baby out. But like I'd say just have a giant anaconda wrap around yourself and squeeze. It probably would be less painful and less disgusting too. So yeah, it's really gross. You guys can thank me for not sharing the story. Anyway, yeah, I was going to share too. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I was going to share that my babies have all been very, very large. My smallest baby was 9 pounds, 3 ounces. My largest baby was 10 pounds, 7 ounces. That was the first one. That was the story that I'm not sharing. But all 4 of my children, I ended up having cesareans with. So that was abdominal surgery. And that's the only times in my life that I've had surgery other than getting my wisdom teeth pulled. But knowing what it's like to have abdominal surgery, again, it's completely different than cancer or what have you. But you're not going to be sitting up on a bench. You're not going to be wearing tight clothes. You're just not. Like, the whole thing of the royal family using abdominal surgery is almost like metaphorical too, kind of like, our soft bellies is where we're vulnerable. And so they're talking about Kate Middleton's soft belly abdominal area that is very vulnerable to infection and illness and your digestion. I mean, I'm just worried that they're setting the stage for, oh, she didn't make it. She didn't make it. I hope to goodness, like I said, I hope that it is actually cancer and not just a story, but it's seeming more and more like a pack of lies, right? I wanted to know what I was facing before telling others, and it took forever, and a surgery that led to remove a mass that was supposed to be 2 centimeters for pathology. Instead, it was a lobotomy and 33 days. Wow. How long ago is that, Deep Thoughts? I'm glad you're okay. The hospital stay. Yeah. Yeah. And my mom, with her kidney failure, and she had literally over a couple hundred abdominal surgeries in the last like 35 years of her life. She literally had over 200 abdominal surgeries. So I know abdominal surgeries from that too. But again, like every situation is different. Hers started with a radical hysterectomy. She had cervical cancer, uterine cancer, and ovarian cancer. She had a radical hysterectomy. Everything went wrong in the healing process, and she continued to have surgery after surgery after surgery. She never had the cancer recur. She never had to do chemo. She never had to do any other type of treatment for cancer other than the surgery. But that surgery led to over 200 more surgeries. And then in the end, she had the kidney failure. So that was 10 years and so many surgeries. It's just dreadful. Surgery is rough, really, really rough, but especially in your abdominal area. Yes. let's go ahead and wrap up. Fred says, ouch. I'm standing in the grocery store parking lot looking at a Honda CRV. I was going to take a photograph of our Honda CRV next to our Subaru because they are very similar vehicles. I was surprised how similar they are. The big difference is that the Honda CRV sits maybe 6 inches higher than the Subaru, but the Outback and the CRV are extremely similar. Thank you. Is it just me or did we lose Jazz again? Oh no. Am I still with the live? I have nothing playing. I see you. Words and Jazz. Huh. Yes, we see you, Deep Thoughts. I'm sorry that you're having trouble with it. Thanks for letting me know, you guys. Yes, they are similar. All right, you guys, we are hitting an hour and a half, and I'm glad that I'm still live, but I am going to sign off. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I'm just looking at the little icons next to your your comments, and I love, is it like a little puppy dog, the don't be hating? Deep thoughts, your words are there, and thank you. Yes, it is a puppy dog. It's a really cute puppy dog, like Toto, right? And then what is this one? Deep Thoughts. It's like an upside down triangle thing. I can't make that out at all. It's like a mushroom cloud almost. Mom First always just has an M. Thanks. Have a great day, everyone. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and say good day to you all. Peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. I'm hoping to be able to do my lives in the early afternoon for this week. And it's going to be challenging. So we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to do my yoga first thing in the morning each day this week. So peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. Thanks a million. Always lovely to have you here. And take care of yourself. Drink your water. Eat your protein. Eat your veggies. Get fresh air, sunshine, and stretch. You may have paused video. Good for you. Inspired. I'm trying. I hope that you guys are all inspired. Light and love.